All right, what's up, everyone? BallietBran here. Today we got another special interview with a Hexican in the community. It's so cool how many Hexicans produce their own music and are just definitely very passionate about what they do. So we got people like Freddie Quotes, people like Corey an Investor, this gentleman as well that we're going to bring on in just a few minutes. Goes by Blakcrypto. I think his name is Kevin Conway. But it's really cool to hear his music, right? Some people kind of just produce one thing every now and then this gentleman here has produced like 5 or 6 songs from what I've seen, and has a really cool style, and just on some other stuff as well when it comes to hex flex and dancing and stuff like that. So without further ado, we're gonna bring on our guest, kind of hear a little bit about their story, right? One thing I didn't realize was that Nights of Crypto, I guess, is starting early tonight. So yeah, Nights of the Crypto is actually already started on Wave 3 TV's channel. So if you guys want to go there and then come back here, we can do that as well. And then once we finish the interview, I'll probably hop on there for a little bit. But without further ado, let's say what's up to one of the Hexicans. Blakcrypto. He has his own stream, like I said, has his own channel that he's got his music on, and this is actually his first stream that he's come on to another Hexican channel. So want to hear how he's doing, what his story is, how he got into Hex, how he got into crypto, stuff like that. And anyways, without further ado, let me bring him on. What's up, my friend? How we doing?
What's up, Bran? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man! Thank you as well. It's so cool for someone like myself that's might not be the most musically inclined to make raps and stuff like that. It's awesome to hear people like you. I know we got Corey, an investor, in the chat, and he made a couple of raps as well. And it's so cool to see how many talented people we got. I mean, I've seen your music videos with, I think, like you and your daughter kind of doing like dances to the raps that you've done. And yeah, dude, that's just so much talent, man. So much talent, and you definitely got quite.
Yeah, you look around and you hear all the brilliant people in the chat rooms, and we're all learning. You're here to learn, so it's the best place to be in crypto, and it's just a blessing to even be able to be a part of this community. I love it.
So let's kind of get into that. I know we haven't really talked, but a few minutes in the chat room. But can you maybe tell us, like, myself and then people watching too, how you got into crypto in the first place, and then maybe how you found out about Hex, Richard Hart, stuff like that, because you definitely seem to know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to the music and the T-shares and stacking it up. So can you maybe tell us how you got into it?
Yeah, I got lucky, really. And really, if it wasn't for music, I don't think I'd be in the crypto, because I started recording maybe in the 7th or 8th grade, and not to myself, but that was in the 90s, early 2000s. Yep. I've been messing with computers a lot, and so to get into this industry, you have to really be comfortable with new technology and want to figure out how to make it work. So really get into music. I found out about Bitcoin and when I first started playing poker, online poker, maybe in 2014, and that was the only way to make deposits. So that's my first introduction. And me and my wife, we rode the 2017 bull run, not realizing, not as investors, just as poker players, that we had our wallets, and watching those balances, shoot to the moon, really let us know that, crypto could be something big. We didn't completely ride it all the way down. We did take some profits, not knowing about the cycles. And so we didn't really invest back into crypto, for a while. Not again, really, until the COVID dip. Everybody spending time at home and trying to get into new things. And that was my first time even getting into charts. I tried Forex, and, I was just familiar with the Bitcoin chart and how the price moves. So I started trading Bitcoin, are they trading with leverage and using Bybit and all those links. And so trying to learn how to do that brought me even on tech. And really, he was the only influencer who even brought Hex up, as far as, what was going on in the space. And so once he brought it up and diving in deep into his channel, I found an interview with Richard Hart. And, really, that's what truly let me do the deep dive into Hex. I bought Hex. I thought I was really doing it big. when I was using Uniswap. I knew no one else was really using Uniswap at the time, so I felt ahead of the curve. But I wasn't staking. I just had a little bag of hex, but I wasn't really using it the way it was designed. So, once I found Richard Hart in that Ivan Tech video, then I did a deep dive into Richard Hart videos, and I was hooked. And from that point, converting everything, and I was a full-time hexer ever since then.
Nice, man. That's awesome. It's really cool. Was that before the Uniswap airdrop by chance?
Yeah, I got a couple of airdrops.
Nice, man. Me too. It's one of those things that similar with your guys, with your guys' story, where didn't really know much about the market cycle. Kind of same thing. Rode it all the way up, rode it all the way down type deal. But then I had always been following Richard as well, and it's always nice to hear a bit of clarity in someone that's not just feeding you BS, at least from the other people that I was following as well, So that's cool, man. You've been in crypto a while. When did you realize? Because you said that you had bought some hex and then kind of realized about the staking a little bit later. When did you kind of realize like, oh, maybe I should get some T shares and kind of get into that?
Right. So it's like I feel everybody had the same plan. Everybody's trying to time the market and saying, I'm going to get out on this date and it's going to be Bitcoin is going to be 80,000 by Christmas. And I just feel like if everybody's had the same plan, it's not going to happen that way, So I was buying a little bit of every coin. I was just trying to get a little bit of every bag. I had a big bag of ETH and kind of hedging my bets. But to be honest, it was big payday. When I first saw that big payday and realizing that staking was the real reward, the T share, the value of a T share. And that was it. If you put in your 6 to 7 hours of research in the hex and you actually find out about the T share, you get it. If you really take the time and put in the effort, and it just makes sense. It's nothing else that's worth the, because you're never going to time the market perfect. So, it's best to just, you say, don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains. Just take the easy money and, 36.7 is not bad at all.
Oh yeah, man. No, that's awesome, man. It's to your point, it's really cool to see what the t-shirts have done, because even for myself getting into hex early on, I remember the t-shirts being 60 cents and just really, really cheap, and no one ever knew.
Oh my God.
At least at least myself at that point didn't really know, like, oh man, this is really where it's at. And so thankfully I'd kind of just followed some of Richard Hart's information, almost blindly, right? Kind of just like longer pays better, bigger pays better, stuff like that. But it's crazy to see how much, like, not only the hex price chart's gone up, because obviously it's a amazing performing chart, but then you have the T-share chart, and that's like even better than the price chart itself. So it's cool, man. And to think too that we're just at the beginning.
Yeah, and I want to shout out RG3. He it was one of his streams where he talked about unstaking those short stakes for more T shares, and they put that big red button on the end stake, and if you've put it recently, you'll see it has that yellow and red kind of like caution tape around it. But him, unstaking those short ones and going longer was the biggest game changer for me, because then I really saw that once big payday actually happened and you saw how it was divided up, and that was basically what you would have gotten in a year. Then it kind of clicks like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and delay as long as we can, So yeah, I love it. And then, like I said, RG3, this community is just so much knowledge, so much to learn. You can just sit in any chat room, any stream, and you can just learn.
It's true, man. It's you're definitely right about that, and it's almost to the point for, like, a lot of us that had been there early on. It's almost to the point now where it's like, man, you have so many options, right? So many options to choose from, and it's awesome. We got people all around the world. Like pretty much every different time zone seems to be having their own stream, which is great, right? I think it's almost like an overload where you have so many Hexicans that are passionate about the product and want to kind of get the information out there. So that's really cool, man. It's awesome to hear. It's crazy how many gains a lot of us have seen already, and to think that it's just the beginning, right? If you look at what Bitcoin, Yeah, man. Like so many people they ask like, oh, Hex already went up almost 4,000x. Like, am I too late? Like, is there any meat left on the bone? And the answer is always like, no, you're not too late. It's actually designed to, go up higher than what Bitcoin has done, which is 6.5 million x and then some. And so it's just really interesting to see things.
I'm sorry, cut you off there.
Oh
When I
no, go
onboard
ahead, man.
people now, yeah, I always I tell like my family, I buy with them. I let them know, I'm going to keep buying Hex. Yeah, I was early, but it's still cheap, under $1. I think under $10. I'm going to be buying Hex for a while, so it's way early. We're pre-viral right now.
Yes, so many people they don't understand that, right? They're similar to we got Johnny Chaos in the chat room, and shout out to him. I know he was kind of one of the first Hexicans that's really animated, right? And so he's done he's got his like own shop and stuff like this, and kind of did his own couple of magic tricks, talking about like right now you kind of are diluted by the unit bias. Like you've gotten into a product that's been early, and you've got a lot of Hex and stuff like that, but you're almost diluted in thinking that the value can't go any higher. But in reality, you're not holding on to just like pebbles, you're holding on to like big diamonds and stuff like that. And so I never really knew how true that analogy really took place until after a penny. And then after we hit like a penny, it was like first milestone was hit. And then, like you mentioned, now it's going to be dollars and tens of dollars. And it's just cool to see the progression in the journey, because I followed a handful of cryptos in 2017 through 2019, but never been at the ground core of a project or product, and especially the community too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what's so great about Pulse. I've never really, like you said, being on the ground floor. I was in earlier than others on Hex, but I wasn't in at the beginning of Hex. So that's what's so attractive about Pulse, is being in at the beginning and ready to ride it out. Just to see what happens the whole way.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I mean, yeah, to your point, not only do we have the Pulse that everyone is at the ground floor of, but also, everything that people had, whether it was liquid or staked on an ERC20 token platform, is going to be copied over. And like you mentioned, big payday was kind of like your major catalyst for kind of like getting into the staking and the T-shares and stuff, which is great. But I mean, it kind of had anywhere from like a 30 to 100, maybe 110, 115% gain, depending on how far you stake. But this is going to be like, pretty much a guaranteed double, at least of the shares and of the coins that you have. So it's awesome, man. The opportunity is definitely ripe for anyone getting in. And I think the biggest thing that's so cool about it is it kind of like saves yourself from yourself when you get into Hex and the staking and kind of come up with the plan, because that way you're not like super tempted to emergency end stake or sell early if something comes out before.
Yeah, I used to tease my wife because she's a full converted Hexican now. But when I first even got into crypto, we kind of went back and forth with see markets and trading on Robinhood and doing options and just kind of playing both sides of it. And I was just sleeping so easy. When you stake and you just don't have to worry about it. Price is up, and it's just the stress is just gone. From the whole investing game, you just don't even think about it.
Now let me ask you: is this kind of like, so before getting into crypto, have you ever had any like other ventures like real estate or any other thing that like involved investing that you had gotten into? Because for me, it was like a little bit of silver before getting into crypto and some precious metals, but then crypto was kind of like my major thing. Did you ever have any like interest in assets and like investing and stuff like that before then?
No. I like I said, I had a little Bitcoin. I did a little research, and I found a video where he said in 20 years all you would need is one Bitcoin and you wouldn't have to work. So I kind of had in the back of my mind to try to accumulate a Bitcoin, but as investments, and I hadn't thought that far into my future. I just basically put into my 401k and just live life. But the COVID did kind of
Totally.
do that. You know, it showed us that, you know, you couldn't get comfortable no matter what your profession was. And you know, I knew that I would have to find another skill, and I really got in heavy into programming and coding and trying to build my own token, learning about blockchain. So you know, that drive and trying to be into a new industry, um, you know, also helped me go, you know, full head first into crypto.
Awesome, man. That's really cool. And you said that you've been kind of like at least passionate about music, maybe, or like doing some sort of music since did you say like seventh or eighth grade, something like that?
Eighth grade, seventh, man. Since a kid, I would change the word to my favorite songs, and just make them my own.
Nice.
And it got to the age to where we got technology where you could actually record your own music. You know, so I was kind of the few people that had computer equipment and access to recording. So got in on the ground floor of that all through college. That was kind of my I was known for that. But then, you know, you get into adulthood and you got to put childish things away. And it was when I got into teaching, you know, that's kind of what you don't want to be known for, you know, teaching other people's kids and they have this other image of the kind of life you're living. So um, I didn't stop music, but it more became I was making music for myself as kind of a personal hobby thing. And that's kind of the only music that I would listen to. So it's funny how the Hex kind of found its way into my lyrics. And you know, Hex kind of saved me because, you know, that has been one of my biggest outlets is my music, and being able to share it because I had to kind of keep a secret. So this has kind of been the first time where I've been able to kind of produce music and being able to share it with as many people as possible. My daughter's been in on it. I hear her singing the lyrics and having a fun and wanting to record with me. So it's just been a blessing, and I just love it. You know.
No, that's awesome, man. How do I guess what I mean as someone like yourself that does the lyrics and stuff like that, like where do you get your inspiration for the lyrics, or like how do you kind of come up with that creative process? Does it just happen like you mentioned, kind of like switching out some of the lyrics to your favorite songs, or do you you know, how do you kind of get into that zone of like, you know, busting out a couple paragraphs of lines and stuff like that?
Yeah, like right now I'm working on a song, a diss song for ETH. So
Oh,
if
nice,
anybody got
dude,
some
nice.
ideas, send some beats or whatever. But like I said, I'll kind of get a feeling like with the Hex at a quarter. You know, I just kind of felt like it was
Hmm.
imminent. You know, I just kind of felt like it was going to happen, so I made that song. On my Hex, I was just feeling that way. I
Yep.
was, you know, looking at everyone, looking at the. It was like right after the big turnaround in the crypto markets, and all the Hexicans were the only ones still excited about crypto, you know. So it's kind of like I was feeling, you know, I'm on my Hex bag, you know, forget
Hmm.
whatever else is going on in crypto. And so you know,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
just inspirational moments, you know, from what I'm experiencing in Hex.
No, that's awesome, man. I was showing my girlfriend like, hey, you know, tomorrow I got a couple of streams. You know, the one that I normally do, and then another interview with one of the Hexicans that I haven't streamed with before. And yeah, there's always just something to that like creative process and that music process that I think is really cool. Because like you mentioned with that 25 cent Hex song, I mean, you're almost kind of like speaking it into existence, and it's also kind of something that a lot of Hexicans that already know is going to happen eventually, but it's just a matter of time. And so it's cool
Right.
to see your videos. I mean, you know, like you said, yourself and your kid. It's awesome to think that there is like a product out there that can actually make sense in investing in long term. You know, I mean, I've got my brother's friends and people like that just had kids, and so I've been able to like give them, you know, 15-year
Oh, that's
stakes
awesome.
and stuff, and
That's
it's
awesome.
exciting to help them out in the future, you know, because we've never really had anything like this. I mean, I'm 24, and growing up had like savings bonds thanks to my grandpa, but that was just like a 2x, not including the inflation. And then now we just have this, you know, digital currency and cryptocurrency that's just appreciates so much more than just standard fiat.
Yeah, it's funny because I got my kids in the crypto, and I got a teenage daughter. She's in high school, and you know, I drilling, trying to drill into her head, you know, learn about crypto, find out about it, do some research, you know. And for 6 months, she didn't care at all. And I had her download Staker to her iPhone, and now she's, checking that Staker every couple of weeks, like running up to me, like, "Are you serious?" And it's just funny to have kids so young. Even my son, he actually is playing Axie Infinity. He's dropped Roblox for Axie, so
Oh, nice, dude,
he's
nice.
into the crypto. He sees how much I'm into it, and it just brings us closer together. It makes me comfortable about their future. I don't worry as much about it as far as what their college is going to look like, and I'm just glad to be in this space where I'm at right now.
No, that's cool, man. I never had like, I mean, my parents were like into real estate and stuff like that, which is like kind of entrepreneurish, but I was never like excited as a young kid to get into like investing and stuff like that. But then ever since kind of finding out about crypto early 2017, it was like, man, this is what I've been missing the whole time. This is that thing that I've been looking for. That's not going to be going away anytime soon. But there's always obviously so many different cryptocurrencies, so you gotta pick the right ones to choose from. But the CD on a blockchain concept, I just think is super cool because it makes it like you mentioned for your for your kids, your sons and daughters. It's cool that they can just download an application, plug in the ETH address that's their public account, and then they can see the results of how much interest they're earning a day, and on their birthday or whenever their stakes end, how that accumulates.
Yeah, and even my my grandparents, my grandma used to work in a bank, and even though if I start talking crypto, she just immediately draws a blank, but you say CD or interest, and she perks up, like she knows what you're talking about, and she knows, oh, that's something interesting, it piques their interest. So it's the grown-up crypto. All these other cryptos are more like games, and you see all this, the names of them, Kung token, oh god. All these other meme coins. Hope I don't get you demonetized. Sorry about that.
No, dude, no, we're definitely good, man. It's true, right? Like how can you get so serious into investing when you got all these different meme names and stuff like that, and it's something that seems so easy to replicate and mimic. But yeah, I guess as far as getting back into your music and stuff like that, I think that's awesome, right? You kind of had like listening to the music and then would kind of replace some of the lyrics with your own, and then kind of at the perfect digital era where now you can start recording it. As far as the beats go, where do you get those, or do you make them yourself? Like, how does that process work? Because it seems like the beats that you got, they're pretty cool, and every one of them they slap quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's always bumping.
And a lot of that came from trying to bring a little value back to the community. A few of those songs are just from the most popular songs that I could find in the top 40 or the most pop culture songs. I just took those beats and recreated them into hex songs. With a few, I listen to music. I just make music a lot, so I had a few beats, producers that I've found on YouTube or work with privately. So I don't produce myself personally, but wherever I can get the music from is where the inspiration comes from. Yeah, but it really is trying to, I know that if something can catch viral as far as musically from whatever, say if someone likes that original song, if it brings them to hex, then that's just more eyes on the project. So it's all about bringing eyes to hex. In the end of the day, I'm not trying to be a huge rapper or I'm signed to Richard Hart's record label. Hex already signed me to a rap contract, so I'm just trying to bring eyes to hex. That's all the goal at the end of the day.
That's definitely cool, man. And I think the way that you're doing it is really creative, because I've seen a handful of different hex content kind of evolve since the beginning, but like you mentioned, at the end of the day, it's something that you're passionate about, whether it be crypto and rapping and stuff like that, and writing the lyrics down. But the fact that it can also be educational, and for people that maybe didn't hear about hex or crypto can maybe take a look at it, because at the end of the day, you're kind of killing two birds with one stone at that rate. You're able to talk about something that you're passionate about, that is an income producing asset, and then also for the people that are listening that might not know about it, maybe they can get educated on a future product that might benefit them.
Yeah, and it comes from a lot of me trying to onboard. A lot of people that I try to onboard haven't heard of any cryptos. I have to explain Bitcoin and what Ethereum is to a lot of people. So to be able to bring a song to someone and they can kind of get the point you're driving across, because at the end of the day, people just care about number go up. They just want to see their money double or triple. So a project like Hex, and then you don't have to do anything but forget about it and not touch it. It's just the easiest thing to do. So
yeah, it really is, man. I've told a handful of people about Hex, and sometimes, kind of like you mentioned with the family member that you mentioned, that like when you mention crypto, sometimes their eyes kind of just gloss over. But if you can at least relate it to like traditional products that they might be familiar with, then maybe that analogy, maybe they don't have to understand the whole crypto front, but if they can at least understand kind of like the certificate of deposit, time lock, then maybe it'll click for them. Because dude, I tell you what, man, like I said, my grandpa that had given us like savings bonds growing up, when I was telling him like the interest that I was making in the APY with Hex, he definitely had like a double take. Like, what are these numbers real? And then the fact that the numbers are real and you multiply that by the US dollar price appreciation is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and then you're retiring under 30.
Dude, it's true, man. I've always kind of been interested, like I mentioned, with my parents growing up, entrepreneurship, kind of not working for other people, stuff like that. And I mean, like I mentioned, I'm 24. I know Motley, he's like 30 something, but yeah, there's so many people that I've met in this community that I didn't know before engaging with them, right? But now, like you mentioned, a lot of Hexicans, whatever the age is, a lot of them are retiring a lot earlier than they ever thought possible. And thankfully, after so many thousands of X, stuff like that, you can definitely multiply your money quite immensely. So it's just crazy to think that we're still so early, and so many people have already done this well, which is awesome for them. But what I'm really excited for is like the next 1000X for the people that are in now, stuff like that, so they can see like, right, oh my gosh, this is legit.
And like you say, like I'm not there yet, but I see it on the horizon. And you can just, even with family that I've onboarded recently, like they can just see a finish line. Some people just realize they think they're going to work until the day they die. They just don't see a finish line at it. Even if they do get to retirement, they just don't feel like there's an end to this rat race. So Hex just gives you that hope. And then when you see it, and it's happening faster than you even ever thought it could have happened. Like I was hoping maybe we'd be at a nickel by this time, maybe. And this is crazy.
It's so true. I know Big Pep's in the chat, and shout out to him. Anyways, he's talked about it before, like, because sometimes when you're streaming, people are like, oh, what do you think the price could do in this amount of time? And I think Big Pep was thinking this year that like conservatively it might hit like 10 cents, and it's just awesome to see that. Like, I mean, right now we're at let's see, 18, almost 18 and a half, like 18.43. But the point is even someone like Big Pep or Cabana Crypto that are quote unquote more conservative than some of the other guesses. Yeah. It's crazy how quick those numbers happen and then skyrocket past. So it's just designed super well.
Yeah, shout out to Big Pep too. He made me he really brought me at ease with the with his predictions during the big payday. Everyone didn't know if you were going to get that kind of 2-to-1 ratio. The numbers were a lot different than you actually got. So he was kind of spot on with his prediction of what he thought we would get from those. So it's good to have a conservative mind. And then you got the moon mission guys. I hate that I missed Wasabi's or we're kind of butting in on their stream right now, but I love listening to him and Dollar Cost kind of talk about price. So you got kind of both ends of the spectrum in Hex, so you can kind of take what you want.
It's true, man. Because I normally stream with those guys too, and I guess I didn't get the memo because we normally change it from like Thursday at 7 p.m. PST to Wednesday to kind of accommodate Crypto Coffee, and then And then I guess today I didn't get the memo that it was going to be a few hours earlier, you know, but yeah, we can definitely kind of, you know, go into, you know, some of the maybe PulseChain stuff and stuff like that. And then, you know, kind of wrap things up and, you know, maybe let the other people get on to, into that stream and, you know, I can join them later too. But as far as PulseChain goes, you know, like you said, heard about Hex, you know, pretty early on, and then getting into Pulse. What do you think about the PulseChain? Yep. What do you think about it? How did you like the process?
Oh man, I loved it. You know, even something simple as the design. You know, when you go to the site and how the DApp opened up, it just shows how far ahead Richard is of everybody else. You know, so and heavy as I could get, waiting on those to come in. I don't know. I'm excited. I think a lot more people are going to be using Pulse than people think. You know, I think that crypto is just getting really stagnant, and it's just something new. And when you hear about all the new ideas and bridging liquidity and all this other type of stuff, like it's going to be, you know, I think people aren't ready for what's going to happen with Pulse. You know, I think it's going to be really big, really fast.
Well, I mean, you're totally right. I look at hex.com, which since last time I looked at it, the total number right now it's at, there's a lot of threes here, but it's 33,303 members. But then the PulseChain has, let's see, it's got like 37,000, something like that. But I agree with what you mentioned in that the network, I think, is going to be a lot more popular than people think. And just to see how much growth we've had already, and let alone once the actual main net happens, people are going to be wondering like, oh my God, you know, I've got a copy of my ERC20. Like where do I get that? How do I access that? And so we're going to see that number probably double pretty soon after the actual launch itself. But it's amazing, like you said, to see how many people are actually interested in it, because Richard Hart, even though it might not be intended, he's making like crypto and investing and finance like fun again by developing how it should be.
Yeah, in a couple of points. For one, with if you watch what happened with BSC, and how when it first launched, you know, how they kind of had a built-in users to where, you know, people just kind of came from Binance straight onto the chain. So it kind of had built-in users. When you have every single coin getting a copy, it's like automatically built-in users. So if it's anything else than just checking to see if this is worth anything, you know, so it's just kind of, it's at least going to, you know, follow, I think, you know, the Binance, you know, trail. And oh my God, something else you were talking about just after that.
I don't remember right off bat, but I mean, it'll definitely come back. No, you're definitely right though, right? Richard had, kind of like that crypto is like fun again, but Richard had definitely like proved that after BSC had been launched, they kind of had like that footpath that like, this can be done. A successful fork of Ethereum can be done and actually have, you know, a whole bunch of users and have proof of stake. And it's cool that he's kind of not reinventing the wheel, but he's taking what's worked and then putting his own spins.
Yeah, making a better wheel.
It's true, man. It's true. It's exciting.
The fun thing.
Yeah.
The fun thing I was talking about, just with Hex, just staking. You know, I've never had anything to where, you know, me and my wife, we would, you know, make these spreadsheets of projected, like, what if we stake this amount? How much would it be? And okay, if we took this amount of each paycheck and then made a stake, like, you know, so it's just so much. I think Richard calls it stickiness, to where, you know, just looking at the numbers on the screen and just interacting with the project is just, you know, it's just fun. You know, it's better.
It's true, man. It's awesome, right? Because like I mentioned, kind of growing up, I was always interested in like, with my parents kind of owning their own businesses, or my oldest brother kind of working for him, was passive income, right? Passive income seems to be that thing that everyone just loves, right? If you can not have to trade your time for dollars, but can be, you know, asleep as well and still earning money, then you're going to eventually catch up to the rat race and not have to be a part of it anymore. And so it's just so easy with Hex. I mean, the way that Richard's designed it, like you mentioned, it's got so much speculative stickiness where, you know, within those first 1 to 10 years, you're going to, you know, triple your T shares just by staking out a little bit longer, by 20% a year. So even for the people that might not have like the most capital at the beginning, you can still make up for it by just having a longer than average stake
Waiting.
length.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
And well, and like Richard's first videos too, this is like how I kind of came across him, was first on Reddit and then seeing his YouTube channel in 2017. But I remember seeing his first videos, like, and they were all self-help. And so he's talked about that in self-help in general, whether it be with weight loss or this goal or that goal, business, stuff like that, that pretty much the key to all of it kind of comes down to, you know, delayed gratification, stuff like that. And it's super cool because it's a good principle to like yield and learn if you haven't already. That, hey, you know, like I mentioned, like even for my parents, I got the uni airdrop, and instead of just converting it all to Hex and keeping it for myself, thankfully I'd already had enough abundance at that time to make a whole bunch of wallets for them. And you know, I look at some of the amounts that that's turned into, and like the $3,000 or $4,000 couple airdrops that I claimed, like now that I've given it to my family members collectively, it's worth like $250,000 between all of their you know, different Hex and stakes. And it's like, man, like that's all just free money that got awarded to Hexicans for just.
You're the man at the family reunion.
Well, you know, I had been like passionate about crypto in 2017, and like, you know, was satisfied with some of the gains, but yeah, you're definitely right. Like when Hex came around, it was like, man, I know this opportunity is like once in a lifetime. It's got that right feeling and the right founder behind it. And I had the thought in my head, like, if I'm the only one that gets successful, like, you know, they're probably going to be mad. Like, why didn't I tell them, type of thing. So thankfully I was able to get them staked. And even some of my brothers I've got through older brothers, one of them doesn't necessarily get it all the way, but he's still got Hex stakes and it's still earning him interest every single day. So even if he doesn't get it, he can still benefit from the design itself.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's some people, it's so hard for them to get into it. You just have to make a wallet for them and just give it to them and just kind of save them from themselves, and just to say they got in on it. You know, I kind of did that with a few people with Pulse, because I just knew they wouldn't get it with the verbiage of sacrifice and all of that. So you know, just get them in and do them a solid, and hopefully, you know, it works out and they'll thank you later.
It's true, man. Richard's definitely, you know, meticulous is almost like an understatement, but he definitely, like you mentioned, with the proper verbiage and stuff like that, has, I mean, even in Hex, has always played it by the books and by the rules. And, you know, I really commend the hell out of that, right? Because, you know, as someone that was in there in 2017, I saw a lot of people, yeah, you know, under promise, over deliver. But in 2017, I saw over promise, under deliver, or like no deliver. And it's just cool to see the way that he's done it, because, you know, my parents, or at least my dad, he was the one that always said it, but that like business should be like a two-way street, not a one-way street, you know? So it should be, it should benefit me and you. It shouldn't just benefit me and screw over you, you know? And so that's kind of how what Richard's thinking and his style of business seems to do, where it benefits both people, and especially the people that, you know, are open-minded about what he's designing. You can really kind of like see the reality that he wants the future to be.
Yep. Yeah. Show me the hurt Hexicans. Show me the person that's been, you know, crying wolf about being scammed.
It's true, man. It's you know, it's crazy. That's actually one of the first things that got me into to find out about Richard, had been in, you know, silver and gold and investments like in 2017, and then heard about crypto and digital silver, digital gold. But long story short, had heard some people, you know, crap talking Richard, and every time that I've heard like someone complain about the other person without them being there to defend themselves, I always kind of want to do my own due diligence and see, like, is that person actually have a right opinion, or are they just talking out of their ass type deal? And found out that, like, oh, you know, sure, Richard had or has strong opinions and stuff like that, but he was just the guy that I was looking for, man. And like, and then thankfully now, after all this time, you know, I've met so many people that are like-minded, you know, they're forward-thinking, and it's just cool to think that we're all in so early. And, you know, got people like yourself, people like Corey Investor, Freddie Quotes, you know, so many people making music and just kind of providing their own entertainment with what they can do and what they're passionate about. And I think that we're just at the beginning when it comes to like the community. Like to think that we could really 10x or just explode from here is really awesome, man. Because I mean, Hexicans are definitely and soon to be future PulseChans and stuff are making a big impact on society, and it's just awesome to see what a handful of people can do.
Yeah, and you got people like Fun in the Gym helping out with tax advice and what to do with these new gains and protect what you make. And everybody contributes so much. Even what you do. Like I used to have a beef with you. I used to have a bone to pick with you. You catfish me with all these Richard streams. I thought I was clicking on Richard, and it's always Brand. But
yeah,
even just dissecting those long videos into short clips that you can digest. It's just everybody's bringing something to the table. So it's just the best place to be in crypto, really.
No, it's true, man. And yeah, like you mentioned, it's and like I was saying earlier, it's almost gotten to the point so much where like, yeah, I'm one of the people that makes the clips and stuff, but yeah, I'm just seeing all of the content everywhere. I mean, one of the guys in the community, Hexican El Hexidente, he gained he's on TikTok, and I know you guys are on TikTok too, which I need to put in the description. But anyways, he gained 10,000 like followers in 2 weeks, and it's like, man, what a prime platform for new eyeballs, for people that are interested in stocks or crypto or in investing, that we can tap that new market. And so to think that he did 10,000 followers in 2 weeks just goes to show you how much potential is there and how early all of us still are.
Yeah, it's so early.
Yeah, well, and then like you mentioned, people like yourself are have a lot of music on the way and stuff like that, and still making it. Like the ETH beef that you mentioned, I think that's really cool, right? I've always liked music in general, not just like the beat and stuff like that, but kind of like the lyrics, right? That's kind of like the main power behind stuff, in my opinion, is being able to tell a story or your story or both at the same time. And so it's cool that you can kind of educate people and also have an outlet that you mentioned that's kind of like a release from like the normal day-to-day stuff like that you can be passionate about, but also have people benefit from that as well, aside from just the cool beats and the lyrics.
Yeah, and that's kind of my purpose, is to try to pack as much as I can, so where you have to listen to it again, and like you said, every time you listen to it again, you pick out another little nugget that you didn't hear the first time. And it's all about sharing and spreading the information at the end of the day. And that kind of what again about Hex, it gave me something to be passionate about. It's only so much bragging on yourself you can do in music. It's only so much money, women, and cars you can rap about. So I don't know, you can never talk about Hex too much. It's always so much to unpack. It's always
No, it's true, man. I mean, and yeah, especially like you mentioned, sure, it's cool to rap about that all that other stuff like you mentioned, but if you can kind of kill two birds at one stone, and hopefully, the way that I've always thought about it with videos and doing it is like, man, even if that one person gets educated and they happen to do really well by hearing that information, then that's awesome, right? I wasn't the only one that just had that opportunity, but now other people have that opportunity too. And everyone kind of like learns through different means, right? Some people, pen and paper is just like really hard for them to learn. But if you do a video, or for someone like yourself, the music and the video at the same time, you're just hitting all these different ways that humans learn, and making it easier for them to retain, actually care about it and not have it be boring like investing is, and actually give a damn.
Yeah. So, the more the merrier, like you said. The more the merrier. We need more hands, more wallets, and Hex.
Totally, man. Yeah, and it's just the beginning. I mean, I see the wallets and the token holders and stuff like that, and I see all of our followers, and I've got your YouTube channel in the description for people to go to as well. But it's exciting, right? I mean, I remember following Richard since I don't even know how many followers on Twitter, but now he's over 100,000, and he's definitely getting there, right? He's finally getting some of the attention that he's been wanting for a while, and I just see not not only a like S curve upward in the price and stuff like that in Hex and in Pulse, but I see the same thing for all of our followings. You know, I think it's just at the beginning of that bell curve going upwards.
Yeah, and time will tell. You know, is this you know, the 10K Bitcoin plays out, and as the market, as the bear market comes, like you said, Hex, that shining city on the hill, is just going to still be the only one chugging along, and you know, the people are going to come. You know, it's Hex out, and it's all, you know, good things. You don't hear anyone saying anything negative. You know, even the hate is kind of like just, you know, obsolete at this point. So yeah, I'm excited. I think,
Yeah.
you know, maybe Hex to $1 is the next. Once we can hit that quarter, we can go start pushing for the dollar. But yeah, I don't see anything slowing us down.
Same, man. You're right. As far as the hate goes, it's some people, they treat it like it's just any other crypto. Where Richard talks about, oh, you could have sold it on a 2x, you could have done this, you could have done that, but it really is like different this time. You know, kind of like that Bitcoin, but 2.0. And so, like you mentioned, when it comes to the haters, I mean, Hex Cadet, he has a Hex 2020 rewind video, and it shows a handful of the people very early on kind of hating on it. And, you know, not to go back in their face and like spit in their face and stuff like that, because, you know, I don't necessarily agree with that all the way, whether people like that style or don't. I think it's cool that, like, hey, you know, you can still kind of do it in a way that like captures their followers and be like, hey, you know, this person was talking shit in 2020 when it came out, and they missed, you know, multiple thousands of X gains, but, you know, they were wrong about this. And it goes to show you that, like you mentioned, it really is that shining hill on a city. And when you see Hex, you know, a lot of people go on CoinMarketCap, they look at their little coin ranking, but then when they go to Nomics, it's like, oh wait, Hex is number 3, you know. So that's pretty
Why
cool.
haven't I seen this one? Yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah,
yeah, man, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, we've kind of covered, you know, some of the music side of things, kind of how you got into Hex, and then Pulse. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be really exciting, right? To have the copy of PulseChain, sorry, not PulseChain, but have the copy of Hex on PulseChain, the stakes and the liquid, and then, yeah, exactly, Hex on Pulse. And dude, actually, while I have you here, I know Richard, we had initially talked about like, oh, okay, Hex on Ethereum might be like eHex, and then Hex on Pulse might be like pHex. And then I made a little clip the other day of Richard talking about, like, instead of it being called eHex or pHex, he's just going to call Hex on PulseChain Hex, and then he's going to call Hex on Ethereum eHex. And it's almost like a precedent and almost kind of like a power play of like, hey, you know, you think that Link is just Link, but the actual link that we're naming is going to be on PulseChain. It's kind of like setting that precedent that this is that new network that people need to come to. And I think they're going to be excited to, you know, have the cheaper fees and the faster network, things like that.
yeah. That's crazy. About maybe a month ago, I made a video, like a selfie video, that same sentiment, saying that I felt like calling it
Yep.
pHex just cheapens it. You know, when you have that little extra name on it. Maybe we should call the
True.
ETHEX OE, since that's the old Hex. We call it OE. And yeah, my wife, she's full in on Pulse, you know, and I think that's going to be big. You know, staking for pennies. What kind of ladders are people going to have now? You know, you can literally, you know, start to plan out a retirement plan. So this is I'm all in, and I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Me too, right? I mean, I see you mentioned Staker.app for, you know, your son and daughter, kind of them being able to track their stuff, and I've used Staker.app with the, you know, built-in notes to safe wallet that they have. But anyways, I think about that same experience that we already have with Hex, whether it be on Staker.app or just go to hex.com, and then like you mentioned, you know, a cheaper, faster, cheaper, more secure network. I mean, I remember like the first couple of stakes that I did, you know, like probably week 1 or week 2, were like a penny at the most. Like it was like under a penny or maybe a penny at the most. And to think that we can go back there is awesome, because I mean, we see the fees, we see how the Ethereum network has been
sickening. It's disgusting.
it's almost been, you know, damn near hostile because of the way that they have raised that S load function. When, you know, Richard talks about that the root of all evil is like pre-optimization, and I definitely agree with that when it comes to, you know, fixing something that didn't need to be fixed, and then now, you know, you screwed over a lot of people on Hex or just other applications that were actually utility. They kind of pre-optimize it, and so the point is like you mentioned with your wife and stuff like that. I think PulseChain's going to be big, man. And like a lot of people, a lot of my friends, you know, they hear about my success and they're like, oh, cool. I want to put in like $100 or $200 or $50 or 25, and like they can't put that in because currently on Ethereum, it's just not cost effective for them to have any Hex. Like all of the money would go away in fees.
Yeah, and it hurts when you want to onboard people and you got to tell them that, you know, almost the amount that you're trying to invest, you know, you're going to lose almost half of that in fees, you know. So it's just, it's almost like it was personal against Hex, you know, as far as raising the S-load function. And even now, I think with the PulseChain on the horizon, you know, maybe you know, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe that's my conspiracy theory, but you know, it's ridiculous at this point for the fees to, you know, there's got to be a solution.
Well, and you mentioned, you know, Binance Smart Chain too. I know Ethereum had been talking about doing the 2.0 delegated proof of stake since I got in like 2017 or maybe even earlier. And, you know, they had their time to do their development. And I get that it's hard once it's already been deployed. But like you mentioned, people are kind of getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they don't want to pay those ridiculous fees, especially now that there's new networks and stuff like that. And so anyways, BSC has definitely kind of like paved the way that, hey, you know, even it's this company kind of running things, goes to show you that that's even still successful, and goes to show you that people that are on the Ethereum network currently, they're looking for that new network that's more safe, more secure, that's faster, that's cheaper, which is what they were promised with the 2.0. But we haven't seen 2.0 since, you know, 3 years later, stuff like
Never. That. Right.
Yeah,
And then you see
exactly.
Yeah, it's coming soon. All you see is coming soon and promise coins. You know, we'll see what happens on September 12th.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree too about the you know, it's just so convenient that when Richard talks about the logic that's needed to be done when it comes to calculating the end stakes and the days for the stakes, it just seems so convenient that they raise that S load function. I think it was either like 12 or 14 times in 1 year, you know. Yeah. And it's like, man, you know, the stakes used to be a couple bucks to end, and now it's, you know, a couple $100, and where is it in the future? And so it's definitely kind of separating like this Ethereum network with what's going to be the future PulseChain network. And, you know, I know a lot of people are, and I don't have like bias towards one or the other, but I think, you know, why pay extra fees if you don't have to? You know, personally, I'm going to be ending some of my stakes and just putting them on PulseChain because, you know, sometimes, dude, you look at those fees and it's like, man, even though I made a lot of profit, this is like what I'm paying in a fee, even on a low gas day, is like 10% of what I made.
Yeah, you're almost always better just letting them bleed out. Because, like, I mean, there's these spikes, but like you said, what's going to happen in the future? You know, 5 years from now, you know, 1,000 days, when it calculates all those 1,000 days, am I still going to be dealing with the same, you know? So,
exactly.
Yeah, if they don't, if ETH 2.0 doesn't come soon, I think they should just, or what's going to happen is everyone's going to use what's working, you know, which is PulseChain. I just feel like, you know, that's the niche. You know, Pulse is going to be the thing that's working while everything else is still working on it and coming soon, you know.
Totally. Yeah, especially since everyone's going to have their airdrop. I mean, why wouldn't you go to that network? So, and even though I'm not a big fan of NFTs and stuff like this and things like that, it's cool to see people like Richard, like ever since I started following him, being able to change his worldview, right? It went from Bitcoin Maxi and Ethereum sucks to Ethereum's not so bad. And then now it was like NFTs, no fucking thanks. And then now it's like, okay, hey, you want your NFTs, you want your ERC20s, you're going to be able to interact with them cheaply like you wanted to in the beginning, and not be screwed over by middlemen, which is what the miners are when you really think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, putting their hand in your pocket.
Exactly, man. A little pickpocket, and just for running the transaction, just because they have the network. So, well, cool, man. Yeah, I don't wanna bring this on too long. You know, we'll probably kind of wrap it up maybe around here. And I know this was the first stream that you've done on like another Hexicans channel. So like for all the Hexicans watching, I mean, we got 76 people watching right now. Definitely go check out. It's Kevin, right?
Yeah, Black KC, BLAKC crypto, Black KC crypto, or just KC. But yes, BLAKCINC, all of the above. Just being black, especially. That's where you're gonna interact with me on Twitter. Um, yeah, but the YouTube channel is Black Crypto, Black KC Crypto.
Okay. Cool, man. I actually just noticed that correlation of the KC, so that's awesome, man. I like the name there, and so yeah, man. Your stuff is in there. I'll have to go back to your guys's to the Twitter and get the TikTok so I can put it in there. But yeah, I have your Twitter, which is just being black, and then I've got the YouTube channel there, and then I'll add the like I said, the TikTok there as well. But yeah, man, thanks again for coming on. This obviously won't be, I mean, unless you want it to be, but this definitely won't be, the last stream. And I think it's cool to at least be able to introduce some of the Hexicans, be able to kind of hear how you got into crypto, what the story is, and then, let other people hear about the channel and stuff like that as well. So like if you're new to this, you haven't heard of his music, definitely go check it out. It's in the YouTube. It's on their Twitter as well, which is in the description. And you should, everyone. The cool thing about the community is like everyone kind of supports everyone, but you need to know that music and stuff like that exists. So that's kind of the point behind being able to interview people is hear their story and kind of get that information out there.
Thanks. And I definitely want to do more streams. I'm gonna have a show talking about Hex. So I definitely want to have you on when we get going. Something where we bring people on and just introduce them to Hex and what it is. And something more laid back, not so into reading the charts and the same, not a lot of more of the same, just just bringing new people to the community. So definitely want to have you on. Again, follow my YouTube page. That's my wife's Twitter, actually. So be mindful of that. But she is, we're a team, so we're doing this all. And that's my daughter, Crypto Mini. That's her TikTok. So that's what you're gonna see on those. So,
okay.
Like I said, it's a family affair over here.
Well, you're definitely similar to myself. Like not just taking all of it for yourself, being greedy, but kind of spreading the love. I think that's awesome. And especially when you've got something that's prosperous and abundant, right? Richard talks about that, like, oh, you can't help someone if your cup is not overflowing. But with Hex, it seems that the damn cup, not just one cup overflowing, but so many, so it's cool to be able to spread that love for other people. And like you mentioned, you got kids and stuff like that. And it's nice to think that they don't have to go through the traditional, like, they still might anyways, but they might not have to like rely on like, oh, 401k or this and that. Like they'll be able to retire more early and have at least something that's more of an asset as opposed to something that's being managed by middlemen and then being pickpocketed when you do need the money in the future.
Yeah, and holding their own keys, that's important too.
That's so true, man. Yeah, when it comes down to being your own bank, I know that was like a big thing that I heard in 2017 is, Bitcoin allows you to be your own bank and crypto be your own bank. And I really agree with those sound money principles, right? Just like, you've got gold and silver bugs or, stuff like that. When it comes to stocks, you don't really have people that actually have the physical certificates anymore. It's just all digital. And so, yeah, when you can be your own bank and have your own crypto and kind of be in charge of your own security, not only does that give you a good responsibility, but it kind of teaches you that, like, hey, if there ever was, back in history, how we had run on the banks and stuff like that, at least you have, kind of like your own like pot of gold here, which you don't have to worry about someone else controlling or diluting your supply or siphoning the money from you when you didn't ask them to.
Right.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, I think It's true, man. It's true, man. Like when I grew up playing video games like 10 years ago, I was really similar to Richard, just really addicted to playing games. And like there was always some sort of like form of digital currency online, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. I mean, even some of my buddies, my old coworkers, their kids that would play games had little skins that you would buy or just different things that you'd buy with that crypto. So they're already kind of being accustomed to that kind of future, and and we don't really see cash being used as much anymore. It's kind of just like digital ledgers and digital currencies. So it's at least cool for the younger generations to kind of already accept and like understand the concept, and then just be able to show them like, hey, this is a better form of it.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you having me on. It's so amazing. It's crazy that you're 24 years old, man. This is like, I'm so impressed. Thanks for having me on again. And appreciate everybody watching. Again, please go like, share, and subscribe. I would love to hit 250 in subscribers. Maybe we can get that ETH beef out tonight. Might have a little something special if we can get a little rush tonight.
Yeah, I will. Let's see. I'll share the screen just so everyone can see right now. But yeah. So for everyone that's watching, it is in the description. You better go follow him. Click on his channel. He's at 226 right now. So yeah, he'll need 24 more subs to 250. But yeah, I mean, just like you talk about this song right here, this hex at a quarter, and kind of just talking about the different milestones, right? It's like that for the channels too, because as someone like myself that is 24, that's had a YouTube channel since I was like 9, I never really intended on it like being super educational and stuff like this. It was always kind of just like a video diary. But then when crypto came out, it was like, okay, how can I actually like tell people about this and give them the same opportunity too? So yeah, I mean, you're almost at a quarter of 1,000, and for everyone watching, let's get Kevin up to 250 and then some. You gained about 3 subs since then, but let's all do our support, right? I mean, we got 60 people watching right now, and I have a feeling that maybe not all of them are subbed to Blakcrypto and Kevin. So definitely go check him out. Go check out his music, like it and play it too, because he's got not only good lyrics but got some cool dance skills and just all of it, right? We all need to be able to support the Hexicans that are kind of helping the the project and the product.
So
well, cool, man. Yeah, dude. I think I'll end it here. We're at about an hour. Like I said, we got all your stuff in the channel here. I'll communicate with you guys after, so I can just verify the TikTok and put that in the description as well. But yeah, we got let's see, a handful of Hexicans that are saying they just subscribed. We got Russ, Coconut, and then Hex Machine. So definitely go check Kevin out. And yeah, like I said, we'll definitely have to do it again. I don't want to keep this too long because I want to be respectful to your time with yourself and the wife and stuff. But we'll definitely do it again, man. And yeah, if you want, I'm available whenever to come on as well. And appreciate you coming on, man. Can't wait for the next convo. And once again, just appreciate you making some time.
Right on. Much love. Hex.
All right. All right, brother, man. I'll chat with you a little bit later, and thanks again.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, peace. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right now. Thanks again for Kevin coming on. I think the KC was Kevin Conway, and the only reason I say that is because he already had his name up there, so I'm not like doxing or anything. But that's his YouTube channel. You can see right there. So Blakcrypto, and that's where the KC comes from. I was always wondering where that came from, so that's awesome. And then last but not least, so I didn't realize the memo of Nights of Crypto, I guess, wasn't going to be at 7 o'clock tonight, Pacific Standard Time, but I guess 4 o'clock. So they've already been streaming for about 95 minutes. I'm going to go join them now. I suggest everyone does too as well. Let me just type it in right here. Wave 3 TV. That's, come on, dude, show up. So Wave 3 on, actually, I got it here in the other channel here. Let me just post a link for everyone because, like I said, let's be respectful to him as well. But I couldn't bail on the stream, right? So let me just post that in the YouTube link real quick. Thank you everyone for coming on. I'll post that link there, and then I'll come join them in just another minute here. So thanks everyone for watching. We got 1 second here. Okay. Let me just post this on StreamYard. I've got so many different tabs open, but so that's the link right there. It's in the YouTube channel now. Y'all can see. And yeah, without further ado, I'll go see everyone on Wave 3 TV's channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We had a great turnout, especially with another stream that I was kind of competing with. So thanks everyone. I'll see you guys over there. And go check out Kevin, right? Go check out his music, Blakcrypto, amazing Hexakin. And till next time.